Hey everybody! Well, today we're going to take a look at this interesting robot that I managed to find on Amazon. So this is Kai, the artificial intelligence robot. A very cool looking robot here. He's got 6 legs, a neat little display here. I think it has different expressions using just the little amount of LEDs it has on here. Now this is a kit. It comes from a company called Thames And Kosmos. You may remember that name previously on a video that I did for this little guy here. It was a little hedgehog. It was a fun little model kit to put together, and this guy runs around, and I did a video on this, so I'll put a link in the description if you want to check out the kit on this. So since that kit was so good, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try this out. So this particular robot, now you're going to download an app that is a remote control to it, but he also has a gesture controls. I guess you can do stuff with your hands to direct him to go one way or the other, and then also audio control where I guess you can just tell it what to do. I'm not really big on the whole audio and hand gesture type of thing. I'd rather control it with a remote control, but it's cool that they have that feature on here. Now on the back here, it has all this stuff. I'll go ahead and kind of bring this up here so you can see if I can get the light on it enough. But you can kind of read this if you'd like. You can pause it. Has some stuff on here that kind of tells you about it. But it's pretty neat. So I want to take this out and take a look at these parts because it looks very interesting. Comes with a whole bunch of stuff there. So hopefully this will be fun to put together, and hopefully it works when I get them all done. All right, so here are the parts that we get with this. So there is 3 parts trees. And here we can kind of see these nice parts going on here. Now, as I recall, the hedgehog had a really nice set of parts as well. These look exactly the same. So it's just like a real model kit. You're going to have to use the nippers to clip these off. And then this looks like the main housing for the body right there. Some littler pieces here. Very interesting looking parts. That's a nice big piece right there. I love this blue color that they used for these. This looks really good. So that's the main faceplate of the robot right there. Very nice looking parts. Yeah, that should be fun. All right. In this package, we have some gears and some screws. And then we also have more gears here. Some kind of a... Oh, yeah, no, that's pretty neat. These are kind of interesting right here. And what else do we have? This looks like the cover, possibly the battery cover, I'm guessing. There's a little washer right there, too. Here's a couple of really nice motors. So it uses at least 2. And then here's this circuit board. Look at this thing. This is really nice. Nice circuit board. Everything's plug and play, which I absolutely love. And this is the LED matrix for the little facial expressions. I think it has somewhat of facial expressions. I'm not really sure. I think it has like a smiley face or something that it does. So it's pretty neat. So yeah, I love all these parts. Let's just quickly zip through these instructions real quick. See what they got. There's a parts legend right there. Let me see. Oh, this is interesting. Look at that. There's some kind of a comic strip going on here. You know, I think that Hedgehog had something similar. It's kind of cool. It gives you something fun to read while you're building it. And then here's the actual instructions. Oh, that's nice. Look, there's some color coding, which I like. It's color coded to the actual color of the gears, which I love. Oh, that's cool. It gives you an actual size. Sometimes it's hard to tell what length of these pins and rods that you're supposed to use. So that's nice and clear there. Some work there on the motors. And I also like this kind of stuff where they tell you to make sure it's a certain way and not another way. And they point out that, you know, like that edge has to be showing a certain way, like right there. So yeah, they're making sure you don't get those incorrect. I like that. I love when the instructions are clear. You can tell that whoever ended up doing these actually built the model, because so many times it seems like I'm building stuff where clearly the person who did the instructions never even built the model, because there's just so many flaws in it and things aren't clear, and it gets confusing. So they should have every person who does the instructions on these kits build the kit for themselves so they can make sure they do it right. Oh, here's some other stuff. Oh, so you can kind of learn about AI and robots and stuff like that. It's cool. Oh, so then it goes on to the more stuff here. That looks like the lower part of the body. That first part you saw earlier was just the main body. Looks like you're going to start building the legs. There's 6 legs to this thing, so that's going to be interesting to build all those. There's some more stuff here. This uses 4 AAA batteries, I believe. And then there's some more interesting little bits here, too. And another cool comic at the end. Let's see what else we got. Oh, it looks like there's some things here that shows you what the display on the front of the robot does. Starting out with the app. Okay. And these are the gestures. I'm not really much on the gestures, to be honest with you. I think, see, what robot did I have that had gestures on it? I don't know. For me personally, it's just not something I really use all that much. Very neat. And then there's the vocal thing, too, where you can use the voices, your own voice. Probably some kind of tracking thing on here. So it's kind of a cool little learning thing as well. I'm in it mainly for the toy value of it, and the build and just the robot itself, because I like all that stuff. All right, well, there we go. Guess I'll get started on it. Okay, so now at the beginning of the build, you got this network of gears that go in here like that. And then you use the shorter rods for these. And then the motor fits in there kind of at an angle. And you can see this this little gear right here that you attach to the motor. Now, I'm always a little concerned about these little gears because over the course of time, it seems like those things always split. And you're always having to replace them. Now, it usually takes a while for that to happen, but you'd think by now, after all the years, I mean, this dates back probably, 30, 40 years? Those old Billy Bass singing fish, those things use these. I had to take one completely apart to replace one of these gears. So you'd think by now they would come up with a material that doesn't split like those do, because they're under a lot of pressure right there. So they maybe should just put metal gears or something. But, of course, they're trying to do everything on the cheap. Now this piece is going to go on here. This orange gear here is going to go through that hole. And then the little component right here, the electronic component sticking up on the motor right there, that's going to go through, let me see. I thought there was a slot. Actually, I guess it just goes through that little hole right in there. And then you're also going to bring this wire through there as well. But anyway, that's the beginning of this build. Okay, so now I am this far along at this point. This is the second motor. You've got this network of gears going on in here. That thing, I think, is going to move side to side or whatever to make the legs move. There's where the battery compartment goes. A little bit tricky trying to tuck in all these wires. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky trying to get those in there. Now you'll notice there's a black mark on the red wire right there. If I can zoom in on it, they tell you to mark that so that you can put the mark where it gets tucked into that little corner right there. Then you plug in all the wires into the circuit board right here, and then it fits into a slot along the edge right there. All right, and then there's some kind of I'm guessing that's the power button or something for the robot. But yeah, it's very cool. I'm loving the way this is going together. Everything fits very nicely, and it looks like it was engineered pretty well. So just kind of wanted to show you all this before it gets covered up, because that's the main workings of this little guy right here. All right, so now I've got the whole head built now. You can see the cool pieces that are on here. There's the screen. That's the power button on the front. So when you put this half together with this half, just make sure you're not squeezing any wires or pinching any wires in there, because you definitely don't want that. You'll know if it's happening because you'll see a split in there. But they have little areas inside there to tuck the wires in, and just make sure you get them in there properly. Sometimes it's a little tricky, but once you get it in there, it's fine. So now I'm working on this part. This is where we're going to attach all the legs. And you can see kind of all the stuff going on in here. Right now it's just kind of set in place. It's not screwed in yet. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the build so far, and I don't have too many pieces left. There's another sprue of black down there. So hopefully not too much further to go. Okay, here he is all finished now. Look how cool this robot looks. I absolutely love the design of this thing. It was just very appealing. So here we got all of his legs put together. I just love the way he looks. It's just a really unusual kind of thing. Now, near the end here, I was showing you I was getting ready to put the legs on. This is kind of a technical section to build in here because you have like a smaller piece right here, and then there's a longer one up here. Just make sure you got the exact ones, and they're marked. You know, it's like this one says A4. I don't know if you can see it right there. But yeah, they're all clearly marked. Just make sure you get the right ones in the right spot. Don't get them mixed up, whatever you do, and because it's not going to work right. Something's not going to fit. The legs aren't going to bend properly. But that's probably the most complicated part of the build. Everything else went together just splendid. I mean, it really was absolutely fantastic. I love the way he looks. I was thinking, you know, you could probably paint this a different color. If you don't want this blue, you could probably paint these parts. I would be a little wary about painting the black parts, though, because you have to make sure that everything moves nice and smooth on there. This plastic is made to be slick against itself, and that way everything moves properly. But if you want to paint this part, maybe it's okay. I love this blue color. The arms, they don't move or anything as far as like mechanically, but they are manually able to move. There's like a ball joint right in here, and it doesn't move up and down, but it moves in and out at the shoulder. And then here on the elbow, you can see how this moves, or this is a bendable, and then the claws will turn. They don't open and close, but you can turn them. And then they recommend that you don't have the arms hanging down, you know, don't have them down here or something like that, because it's going to interfere with the movement of the legs. So just kind of keep them up kind of like this. I love this thing. Okay, so let me show you the app. So you will have to download an app for this. There's an app for both the iPhone and also the Android phones. So there's a QR code. You'll just scan it, download the app, and then you're good to go. You're going to need to turn on your Bluetooth, and I think you need to turn on the location for this. And that's typical for a lot of these robots. Emo works the same way. I think Vector works the same way. But yeah, so go ahead and get that set up, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, so I've activated the app. Now you're gonna have to make sure, as I mentioned, your Bluetooth is connected, and up here it'll show a little green symbol that the Bluetooth is connected right there. And then you also need to have the location on, and I think that's supposed to turn green once the robot is connected. Now you'll notice there's all kinds of cool little things here. You can control facial expressions like happy, heart, asleep, surprised, confused, skull, angry, sad, and silly. So you can just tap those, and then his face will show that on there. There's some other buttons on here that I'll show you what those do as well. So let's go and press and hold the button to turn him on, and you have to hold it for a few seconds to get him going here. Okay, and you can see his smiley face. Let me turn this down a little bit so you can see his eyes. Okay, so I hope you can hear the sound that he makes. It's very cool. So now, for instance, here we can push happy. And oh, you know what? I don't think we're connected. Let's tap this. Okay, so you have to tap that button. And then, let's see, did I connect? Let's try this again. Tap this. That menu comes up. Tap that. There we go. And he does a little dance to let you know that he's connected, and you see that that turned green. Okay, so now we're connected. Now we can hit the happy button, which is what he's already showing right here. And we got the heart, a little heart symbol. Here's asleep, surprised, and then confused, skull. That looks pretty cool. Angry, and sad. Oh, and then silly. So it's a little hard to kind of tell some of these because it's such a limited matrix there of 25 LEDs, but still, it's pretty cool. All right, now let's do this moving around thing. So you got the controllers right here. So turning him like this way, see it turns his whole body, and you can turn him this way, and you'll notice how the arrow shows up on the screen. So if it turns, it'll go that way. See the arrow? So he lets you know which way he's going, and then same with this one. There's an arrow going this way. And then let's move him back, because we're going to make him walk forward now. So we'll push forward. And it shows the arrow going down. See how cool he looks when he's walking around? Oh, I love those legs. They're so cool. And then let me go backwards. You can see that he goes backwards. You can turn him around. You can make him go forward again. Make him go backward. Or turn him around this way. Make him come this way. I love the way those legs work. It's so cool. Let me go, let's see, backward again. So that's why you got to make sure you get those legs proper, because you got to make sure that everything's working good. And once you get used to the way he drives around, it's pretty neat. It's a little loud on this table because he's got these hard feet. Very, very cool. All right, so let me show you some of this other stuff. All right, now let's try out these other things here. Now you'll notice it says text. So when you hit that, and then you tap right up here, it's going to bring up your keyboard, and then you can tap in some messages or stuff. So like, for instance, let's do hello. And then you push send, and now watch his face over here. And you can see it says hello. And it scrolls across there. It's very cool. Oh, and then he brings his face back. That's pretty neat. Now, I don't know how many characters you can do. I'm guessing it's as long as the line. I don't know if it's going to go further than that. Well, let's try this. Hello there, my friends. Let's try that. See if it'll do it something that long. Okay, so there's hello. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that's cool. It's pretty good considering there's a limited amount of LEDs. Oh, that my was a little hard to see. Oh, that's very neat. That's very cool. I like how it does that. So yeah, you can type a little message in there. Like I said, I don't know how many. I don't think in the instructions it said anything about a limit of characters. I'm guessing that it'll just do as many as you want to do, maybe, or there's probably a limit on there. All right, so let's go back. Now we see draw. Now on this one, you get this matrix. This is the matrix that matches his face. So say you want to do something like, oh, I don't know. Let's do this with two eyes. We'll make his smile more V-shaped. So then you send it, and then you can see that it changes right here. So it doesn't have a clear button as far as I can tell. I don't see anything down here. So I guess you just re-tap them. Maybe you can make a little plus sign like this. And there it is. Let's see what else. I don't know, maybe we can make the letter Y. There we go. Oh, that's neat. Let's see if, I suppose you can turn them all on if you want to. Let's try that. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so that's cool. Wish they had kind of a clear button on here so you don't have to tap all of these all the time. But yeah, you can play around with that and do whatever you want. Let's go back. So I guess it's going to stay on there until you decide what kind of a face to put on there. So that's pretty neat. Okay, now this thing here, it says off. I have it turned off. What it is you know how you can control this guy by moving him forward and backward? Well, what that is you're going to use the accelerometer in your cell phone or your tablet here. So by leaning it forward or backward, it'll make him go forward or backward or left and right. So let me see if I can set this up somehow so I can demonstrate that. All right, so now as soon as I activate that, he's immediately going to start moving. So I think, so forward is this way. You'll just turn it this way completely, and then backward is this way. I guess it's more like flat. You can go this way, and then this way and this way. All right, so let's go and activate it. Okay, that's forward, backward, tilting to go that way, and then that way. It's a little harder to move him with this. I suppose once you get the hang of it, it works okay. You can make him turn again. You can go forward. They can turn this way. So that's kind of cool. Using the device itself. And then just holding it flat will make him stay in the stopped position. So it's a little erratic. I think I'd rather use the joystick kind of thing. And then you can hit stop right here. Oh, I think there's a stop. You can't see it. Just have to turn it off to get him out of there. I think it's a lot easier to use that instead, though. So I don't think I'll be using that function very often. So I want to show you what he does when you turn him off. You just press and hold this button again, and he makes this interesting sound. That's like the end of a game or something. But he turns off really quick. Now, they offer other ways to control him, which I'm not really that big on. But what it is, you can scan your body using the camera on your phone or your tablet, and then from there you can start establishing different commands using gestures. For instance, you'll start with the left turn, so you'll tap that button, and then maybe you'll raise your left hand, and then that'll tell the robot to turn left. Then you'll tap this one, and then you want to raise your right hand, and he'll turn right. And then you can just come up with your own gestures on what to do, forward, backward. Maybe you can put both hands up, or maybe you can do because it's scanning your whole body apparently, and then it'll store the items, and then you can change the items. I think you can change them one at a time, or you can just reset and do it all over again. I think you have to do this like 3 or 4 or 5 times so that it learns different variations. Maybe you're holding your hand slightly different when you're holding it up, and so it learns all that stuff. I guess it's kind of the AI. The AI isn't actually in this little guy; it's in the app itself. So that's kind of something that you can try. I'm not really a big fan of that. I don't want to mess around with, like doing gestures to make him move. Here's another way. This is using sound. Exact same thing. You program him to respond to different sounds, to left, right, forward, backward. Now on the suggestions here, they say, for instance, if you want him to rotate left, you can just make a whistle sound, or rotate right to clap your hands. And then walk forward, you can make a meow like a cat. And then you can also do a bark like a dog to make him go backwards. So you can come up with your own sound effects and change them and alter them. I think these are like little graphics that show you, what the sound looks like on some kind of a meter right there. And I think you can store them and do other things like that. So it's kind of cool. I mean, it's neat that they do this. Train the AI. I'm not really sure what all this was. I wasn't quite understanding all of it. But, like I said, I'm in it mainly for the playing of, like just controlling them and playing them around, because I think that's better that way. So, yeah, it just depends on what you want to do with it. So there we have it, Kai the robot. What a cool little kit. I really, really enjoyed building this. It went together really good. I didn't have any problems with it. The pieces fit really nice. He works really good. I love the way the legs work and everything on here. It's kind of like spider-like, but with his little arms and stuff, it kind of gives him a little bit of personality. I love it. So I found this on Amazon. He was, as of the making of this video, he's on sale for $77.97. I don't know what his normal price is. I think they said that was 22% off. So he's probably around $85 maybe normally. So hopefully you can find him on sale. And I think he's pretty neat. It was a really fun kit to put together. You can play around with it, and you can see how you can program it and stuff like that. I personally prefer using the app controller, because it's just, I don't know, I just think it's funner. He connects really easy. Just make sure that you give the permissions for all the stuff that the app wants, as that is the case with a lot of these things. You got to make sure your Bluetooth is on, and you got to make sure that the location is on. Oftentimes, a lot of people don't turn the location on, and it won't connect. But he connects really good and really quickly, but it's very neat. So I'll put a link in the description for this robot from Amazon. This is not a sponsored video. I didn't get paid to do this. I just thought the robot was really cool. You all know how much I love robots. And I just think he's got a really neat look to him. I just like the shape. I like the shape of his body and the shape of his head. And also the way he walks is really cool. So, all right. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. See, he's smiling if you hit like and subscribe. All right. Well, anyway, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it. I'll see you on the next video, and have a good one.